Roadhouse press conference. We've got a lot going on this week. Wednesday, swimming is at the NSISC Championships, Wednesday through Saturday. That's in Cleveland, Mississippi, hosted by Delta State for their conference tournament. Thursday, women's and men's basketball are both on the road at Texas A&M Kingsville in Kingsville, Texas, starting at 5:30. Friday, men's and women's tennis have their first matches at home. They'll be playing at the Permian High School tennis courts this entire weekend. At 9 a.m. they start with Western New Mexico and they play St. Mary's at 2 o'clock. Friday is also the UTP softball home opener against Texas A&M Commerce. Their 3-game series starts at 4 o'clock on Friday. Saturday, baseball kicks off a 3-game set with Adams State. They'll have a doubleheader Saturday beginning at 12. Softball will close out their series with Texas A&M Commerce at 1. Men's and women's basketball will be at Angelo State on the road beginning at 2 o'clock. And men's and women's tennis will take on Colorado State Pueblo at the Permian Courts at 2 o'clock. Sunday, men's and women's tennis will close their weekend against St. Edwards at 9 a.m. And baseball will close their 3-game series against Adams State at noon. A couple things from this past week. Kaylee Pippins-Tryon set a Lone Star season high with 31 points in their game against Midwestern State on Saturday. And Jacob Ledoux had the third highest total for the men, scoring 34, 2 under his season high of 36, and that's the second time he's scored in the 30s this season. All right, we'll get started today with head women's basketball coach Ray Booth.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Coach, you got your first conference win on Thursday. Monkey off the back. How does that feel?
It feels good. Yeah, during the game and down the stretch, you could kind of feel deja vu kind of happening. You know, when we turn the ball over and here we go again. And so it was nice to see that there was some growth in terms of composure and poise and ability to stay locked in and believe that we could get a stop when we needed to. And KP came up with a big steal.
Let me ask you this. Last week you said, we're really working on to try to improve for next year, try to get these good experiences for the other girls. Is that a good experience you're talking about right there?
Absolutely. I mean, a big win against anybody in this league, especially a special situation like that one, which we've been in so many times. Just to see that growth is fun that we still have that drive and competitiveness in us at this point.
What was the locker room like after Thursday? Home win, the whole works.
Well, I took my time going in there so it could be more exciting for the players. So that's probably a good question for KP when you get to her. But it was good. It's been a long time since I walked in and they were having fun.
Did you see your team do anything different on Thursday that led to that win?
I think, we know what happened when we were at Cameron. We allowed that one to slip away from us, and then ultimately we lost in overtime. So it was a game that we were confident that we would compete in, and we didn't want to lose the same way twice to the same team.
KP's come up time and time again this season, scoring a lot of points for you guys, but was it kind of, nice to see her come and make that final steal at the end of the game to shut it out?
Yeah, she had a big week. I think she averaged about 28 points. She carried us on Saturday, but yes, the play that she stole the ball out, we actually prepared for that play the day before. And KP has the ability to prepare and then put that into actual live play in the game. So I think she was pretty locked in on who was going to have the ball and where it was going to go, and took advantage of just preparation and her ability to do that. So yeah, she had a big week.
What are these matchups this upcoming week looking like?
Kingsville first. We were up 1 going into the last minute of the game, and we fouled a 3-point shooter for an and 1 against Kingsville, and then we threw the ball away. And so we were in that game literally until the last minute. Playing at Kingsville is tough, but we do feel confident about going out there and hopefully getting that win. Angelo will be very difficult. They're the best. They're tied for first right now in the conference and number 3 regionally. So that's going to be a tough game for us at their place. But right now we're just going to stay focused on Kingsville.
Do you think that it helps? I don't know if you guys are technically eliminated from making the conference tournament, but do you think that it helps that that pressure is kind of off where you guys can go out and play loose basketball or not as pressured basketball these last 4 games?
I mean, getting the win certainly helps with everything. Maybe pressure from our players, but just confidence, and let's go out there and have fun and have our purpose every single day that we have an opportunity to still step on the court together. So yeah, we're down to the last 2 weeks and we want to enjoy every bit of it.
Okay, yeah.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is senior Kaylee Pippen-Stryan.
Keep going, don't worry about it. You all good?
Yes.
Kind of went off this week, or this past week. Any different type of pairing or anything like that, or did you just feel it this week?
I just wanted to win, and I know I have to put the ball in the basket if we want a chance to win, so that's what I had to do.
How'd it feel to actually get the win on Thursday?
Yeah,
Was it good?
yeah, it was good.
Kind of, Coach said that you prepared that play, you practiced a couple days before. What was going on in that play, and how were you able to foresee what was going to happen for that steal to go down?
Well, I kind of recognized the play when she passed it to one player and they passed it back to, I think it was number 4, and she came off I think a horn set screen, and we were switching the screens at the time, so it was a post player on, one of their smallest guards, and I didn't want her to turn the corner and make a layup and, us win, so I just dug and hit the ball out of her hands and secured it for the win.
Like I asked Coach Ray Booth, what was it like in the locker room after the game?
Everybody was excited, and we just felt like a sigh of relief, that we finally got a conference win, and it was just good energy overall in the locker room. Everybody was pretty much happy.
I know the season hasn't been what you wanted it to be, but as a senior and trying to leave a legacy here, what are you trying to do for the last 4 games?
The last 4 games, I just want to go out with a bang, maybe have a similar week as I did last week, and just put points on the board and help us, get as many wins as we can before the season's over, and show my younger teammates, what it's like to leave a legacy at UTPB. So maybe when they're a senior, they could do the same.
How'd it feel to get that Lone Star Conference high 31 points? Did you even care or notice? Or
Coach literally just told me, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool,
I feel like you're just chilling, and just doing your thing. Is that just who you are?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
KP.
KP.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next up, we're gonna start with Miles Washington.
It's a little tall.
Yeah. That's completely cut off.
Too sad.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
2 big wins at home this week. How'd those games feel?
It felt pretty good because we were on like a 3 or 4 game losing streak, and to turn it around like that was real good.
I feel like, Miles, everything's kind of come together, everything that everyone kind of knows their role. Would you agree with me on that at all?
Yeah, we look like a better team this past weekend. Looked like everything started to click, everybody started to get it, and got us some wins because everybody just did what we were supposed to do at the time.
Getting those 2 wins at home, do you think you guys will take that confidence or momentum on the road this week?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think we will. I think those were 2 big wins that we needed, and everybody is feeling up. And I think we're gonna carry it over to this week.
I know you guys only have 9 scholarship guys on the roster right now. With the ups and downs of this season, do you guys feel like you're a closer unit at all?
For sure. I think we're close. We interact a lot off the court. Feel like we get along pretty good. So, yeah.
I got you. All right, Coach keeps on saying the turnovers are like the #1 bugaboo for this team. Do you have any suggestions for Coach on how to fix that at all? Do you know what's going on with that?
I have no idea what we do. What are we doing? But yeah, it's something we should fix.
You're smiling at that. What is it, like funny, or like is it like just a running joke now, or what is it? What about it?
we can't fix it. It's like we can't get rid of it.
Coach said at practice, whenever you guys are working on turnover drills, he takes the balls away every time you turn it over. So what's that like?
It puts pressure on you to not turn it over. So
Lots of running.
yeah, running they all go away. So
These next 4 games are pretty crucial for you guys if you guys want to, bump up in seeding for the Lone Star Conference. How do you guys kind of prepare for, Kingsville and Angelo State on the road? Angelo State, a team that you barely lost to.
I feel like the way we prepared this week was a pretty good week of preparation, and it got us prepared for the wins that we got this week. So if we prepare like last week, come to practice the same way with the same intensity, I feel like we'll be all right.
What'd you guys do different this week to prepare?
It was kind of the same, but the intensity was more like we went harder at it, competed more, and it helped us out.
Does it help out, give you a little bit of motivation knowing that you're just one win away from making the postseason?
It's pretty good. I mean, we're there. I think we're already in there. So it's pretty good. So we got really nothing to lose but to just win and keep going higher. So.
For you, Miles, how do you feel like this season's gone for you? I feel like you really started to peak the last couple of games. Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten better. Just from coach telling me to be more aggressive, to do more to help the team, stop being less selfish, like talking more, helping the team out.
I got you. The other thing I noticed this weekend, especially on Saturday, defense and rebounding has been really good for you guys the past 2 games. Do you feel like that was maybe something that you guys harped on this past week at all?
Oh yeah, it's been something all season that we needed to fix, but I felt like this week we kind of fixed it, got better at it.
That's all I got.
Cool. Okay.
Thanks, Miles.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Miles.
it, bros.
Next up is head coach basketball coach Josh Newman.
Lower your cameras. Let me know when you're ready. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, we're coming off obviously a really good homestand, and I would tell you first and foremost, it was great to be back in the Falcon Dome. That's more significant than you can imagine, truthfully. I mean, going on the road for 3 straight weeks with 5 straight road games, it was great to just be back, sleep in our own beds, be on our practice floor for more than just 2 days, and then up back on the bus. So I think our preparation was good. Obviously, I would tell you that Coach Gibson and Coach Holland did a fantastic job with the scouts, and the guys were locked in because we told them, even though Miles might have forgot, that if we win, then we're in. And that was a really big thing for us that we talked about. We needed to win these 2 games to continue our postseason, potential or opportunity to play. And they knew that. So they were kind of, their backs were against the wall. So I think we had a couple of really good days of preparation. But a lot of that had to do with us being at home, truthfully.
I think it's hysterical that Miles is, giggling at the turnover margin that you guys keep on figuring out. What's going on with that? Is it just like as a running joke now?
Hey, you were there.
Oh, I saw
you saw. We won Saturday, and we still had 23 turnovers. So I don't really know. It's one of those things where you're right. We've taken the balls and we've thrown them. Unfortunately, the gym's a little bit smaller, so when I throw the balls, it takes me less time to go pick them up, and so they don't have to run as long as I'd like them to run. We might get balloons and pop. I don't know what we're going to do, but it's just we're trying. It's still carelessness, unfortunately. It's still trying to make that home run play that I was telling the guys the other day. There's no home run play in basketball. That's for Coach Rinke. We don't get to make home run plays, but they still try to do that. And then we just have some careless turnovers, truth be told. Not understanding time, possession, value of the basketball. And that's hopefully not going to be the thing that ends our season, which is why we continue to work on it.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Yeah, it's a home run ball for us. It's a Sports Center top 10 play. Do you just want to maybe work on those a little more to possibly make sure, hey, maybe those will actually go to the basket, or is it just nah?
No, we do. We talk about value on the ball. I mean, we talk about, hey, if that ball was worth $100, what would you do with it? Would you be throwing it all over the gym like you do? And we're just trying to help them relate as much as possible. But it comes down to discipline, a little bit of skill level involved too, honestly. You've got to make the right play at the right time. And I think there's also a little bit of lack of confidence right now in taking care of the basketball. So we're just working on that. Trust me, we work on it every day.
Were there any guys that surprised you this week in these big wins?
Yeah, well, so before the week started, I brought Adam and Miles into my office with the coaching staff, and we really talked to those 2 in particular about taking the next step. We needed them to become more aggressive, be more assertive, And I thought on Thursday, they both did that right out of the chute. In the first half, I think they both had double digits. And so Miles went ahead and took it to the Saturday game where Adam forgot to carry it over to Saturday. But both of those guys, I thought, really established themselves early in that game Thursday. And they're coachable. Those two young men want to do the right thing and get out of their comfort zone, honestly. We're asking them to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more, less passive, and to be more assertive, and they both did that.
So just one went away from making the tournament, right?
Yes, it's kind of tricky. So it's one win away, or if Midwestern loses one game, then we're in. So we get a little bit of help right now. We obviously control our own destiny, but with a little bit of help, we can get in without, winning.
Do you think that gives your guys a little bit more motivation to, just to get out there and get a win since, they're just one win away from making the postseason?
Well, we're going to say it again. We told them this week they had to win both to get in. So they think they're in. So it's a little bit of psychological warfare right now going on. Hopefully they don't, no disrespect, but hopefully they don't watch the news and you're asking a question. So they think they're in, but we might tell them now, hey, we were wrong. You got to get one more. Whatever it takes to get them motivated. We are going on the road versus two teams that are still hungry and playing for seeding. So it's going to be a tough test for us.
Do you think that these, and the next 4 games, and if you look at the back, like the last 3, Angelo, Commerce, and Tarleton, are you guys trying to, obviously you want to win, but trying to use it kind of as how you're going to go into the tournament since they are kind of the top teams in the conference?
All we're trying to do is win. It doesn't matter to me what we're trying to do here or there. We're trying to win. We're trying to get better and better and better. And the goal is for us, like I said a long time ago, is to be the best team we can be in March. It looks like we're going to have a chance to play in March, so we just want to be the best basketball team we can be in March. But yeah, winning is the one thing. You want momentum. You want to be going into the conference tournament playing well. And with 2 out of the last 4 games at home, I hope that's going to be advantage for us.
I asked you last week, I'll ask you again. Do you think the switch can be flicked possibly in the next 2 weeks?
I'm going to tell you again, I don't know if there's a switch, truth be told. I mean, I thought defensively we were better. I thought they were locked in, but I think, at Tarleton and at Commerce, we were pretty good too. Unfortunately, we just turned the ball over again. We turned the ball over 23 times versus Midwestern. So I don't know if there's a switch. I think this is our basketball team, and it just depends. Do we come down and get stops? Do we finish defensive plays with the rebound? Can we value the ball enough not to turn it over? And then obviously you got to make shots too. So going on the road, your defense has to travel. And Kingsville is a phenomenal rebounding team. We can guard their initial shot. We got to make sure we don't allow them to score off the offensive rebound. If we can do that and not turn the ball over, we're going to have some success.
I know Zeke keeps on getting a little more playing time with Mo, trying to deal with his back injury. How has he been in terms of, I know sometimes you're really mad at him, sometimes you're really loving him. How is that with that relationship and he's doing on the court?
He's done fine. I mean, he stepped in. I mean, you're right. He's kind of playing more because, as you said, we actually only have 8 scholarship guys right now. And with Mo not playing, we're down to 7. He's kind of in and out. We don't know what's going to happen with him. He has limited practice. So Amanzi has to step up, and he's done that. We're trying to limit what Amanzi does because when he does things out of his comfort zone, that's where I get upset. That's where I get mad. And that goes for all of them. But his attitude's great. His effort's been good. He's just continuing to try to understand where he can be successful within our system. And he's done that. He's actually played really well the last couple of weeks.
At this point in the season, what do you think are your guys' strengths?
Well, we've always been able to score the ball. You look at our offensive percentages and the number of points, we can do that, which is so disheartening when we turn the ball over because every time you turn it over, that's one less chance you have to shoot. And if you're shooting 50%, if you turn it over 23 times, that's 12 more shots. If you get to make half of those, that's 12 more points. So all of a sudden, we're hurting ourselves by turning the ball over. So offensively, I've been happy pretty much the entire year with our efficiency outside of the turnovers. Defensively, we're getting better. I thought this weekend we really guarded. So we're getting all the parts, I think, maybe in a line.
Can you just preview Kingsville and Angelo State? I know Kingsville was not a
Sure.
good game here, but Angelo State was a real close game here as well.
Yeah, so we should have, in my opinion, we could have won both those games. We had a pretty sizable lead versus Kingsville. In the second half, they made some adjustments. We didn't come out and play like I expected us to play in the second half. They started penetrating our zone. In the first half, they settled. And our job is obviously, and if they're watching, that's fine. Our job is to make them shoot a bunch of perimeter jump shots. That's what we're going to try to do. And then we have to finish that stop off with the defensive rebound. So that game, when you look back at the box score on Thursday night, if we continue to keep them off the glass and not turn the ball over, then we're going to be successful in that game. But I expect them to be really tough. They, I think, have lost 5 straight as well, a lot on the road. This league is a bear when you go on the road, so they're going to be hungry to try to get back on track at home. And we've never been down there as a staff, so I've heard it's a tough place to play, but I expect their best shot. They are probably the best defensive team in the league right now as well, in my opinion, the way they play physically. Angelo, yeah, that's a tough one. If we would have got 2 or 3 stops, we'd win that game. So they're playing for something. I think Angelo's trying to play for the 2nd or 3rd seed right now. I expect that to be a really physical basketball game as well, and we're going to have to keep them out of the paint and keep them off the glass as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this week.
All right, appreciate you.
Okay, we'll close to baseball coach Brian Ranky. The Falcons on a 4-game win streak, and they love that state.
We haven't played this one.
Let's eat.
Yeah, I've heard.
Oh, yeah, we did play Tuesday. I don't remember.
The Grand Slam that was.
That's true.
Yeah, that was the weirdest play on the face of the year. I also love how you will keep on going out there and say, "Do you know the rules?" To all the umpires.
It's a legitimate question. I mean, you've seen some of our umpires?
Yeah, I know. But, I've thrown the bad calls on Twitter before and I'm like tagging people on that. All right.
Coach, before they start filming, what do you think was the turning point in that game that really made you guys win that day? Like, was it when someone specifically showed up to the game?
It could have been. When you showed up to the game.
I mean,
No, we're good. Now we're live.
just don't have to get that on.
Coach, another come from behind victory this past Tuesday. For you guys, what's kind of working right now?
I mean, there's not a whole lot of, if we get down early, nobody presses. And that is something that is really hard to teach, especially to young kids. I mean, we were down, I guess it ended up being 3-0 before we had 2 outs in the first inning. And that's all our pitching staff gave up for the game. So, I mean, for them to come in, and we used a bunch of different guys. Jake Brody was really huge in the middle of the game for us. But to not give up any more runs after the first inning, and our hitters are like, it doesn't matter to them. They're like, okay, so we got to score anyway, so we might as well start now.
How are you feeling about the team as you guys start conference?
Actually, conference will start. We play 3 weeks of non-conference
Next
conference
week.
games next. Starting with WT in 2 weeks. So we have a lot of work to do before that even starts. I mean, I'm very concerned about the weekend with Adams State because they are struggling and they've been at home all weekend inside practicing because it's snowing up there. So they will be extremely determined to come down here and light a fire under their guys this weekend.
So with Adams State, what do they have that's something that you're kind of game
They've got 2. Their 2 starters are really good. They've pitched really good. They just haven't won. I mean, their number 1 guy had like a 5-4 game with West Texas, who's number 10 in the nation right now. I mean, some of the scouting report we got on them was, I mean, their top 2 guys are very good. So if we don't come out and hit the first day, we're going to be in trouble. I think we may obviously have an advantage playing at home. Looks like it'll be windy again on Saturday, so that's an advantage for us, hopefully. And just make sure that we're prepared for the week. I mean, obviously having a weekend off, it was a little weird because you don't get that a lot in baseball.
I know in our first one of these a couple weeks ago, you were not concerned, but were just worried. I don't even know if worried is the right word, but just talked about your pitching. Do you think that has improved since?
I think we've been better on the mound, but we're still gonna struggle. We have 2 guys 2 seniors that are probably lost for the year on the mound, so and those 2 guys we would rely on a lot. So yeah, it's been better. We've performed better. We have to continue to perform better, otherwise we will struggle because we're not going to have as much pitching as some of the other teams that we play.
Would you say that's your team's biggest issue right now?
100%.
Is it more going to be a lot of patchwork this year, where maybe you
Yeah.
guys go 2 innings and then kind of?
100%. I mean, I think what you saw on Tuesday with us throwing 5 guys, I think that's definitely going to happen in the 9-inning games on the weekends sometimes. I think we've got a couple guys that in the 7-inning games, if they go out and have a good start, I mean, they'll get us through 5, 6, and maybe even a complete game there. But the 9-inning games, we're going to have to mix and match quite a bit.
Is that an advantage though? Because you know the lineup's never going to see the same guy the whole entire game.
It can be, but once again, it's just, I mean, I like to think that we can do it, but if we have a guy that's in there for 2 innings and he, 6 up, 6 down, or very minimal, then you're always deciding, should I keep him in? And inevitably, if I do, then they score off him, and if sometimes you take him out, they score off the next guy. So you have to basically have your plan before you go in and stick to it, otherwise you second guess yourself all the time.
Who's your Saturday starter?
Saturday, Ivan Thomas will start the first game. Second and third game will be determined. Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay.
Is that the